the Zerglings got eaten alive.
Yeah, Terran player making a good job of transitioning into Marines and Marauders now to deal with these Ultras. However, Aspire is on its way. Excellent decision making by our Zerg player, going for those mutas, and they're going to be able to deal with Marines Marauders pretty easily.
Yeah, you see that there are a ton of Marauders on the field, but the number of things for them to shoot has not been increasing at the same rate. There's still only those 3 Ultralisks on the field, now up to 10 Marauders, though there is a huge Doom Drop loading up.
Man.
It looks like he is very interested in trying to deny these 2 left-hand bases that I don't think, I'm quickly checking his vision, he hasn't actually seen them, but he has to suspect they're there.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and it does look like we are going to have 2 medevacs going down to those far bases, as well as 2 going over towards the main base. So Terran doing what they do best against Zerg drops in many locations, splitting up the Zerg army, making them less effective.
Yeah, he's doing an excellent job of exactly what you just said. Spreading out the Zerg army makes it so that every individual piece is only engaging against a small number of Terran units, where the Terran units do just absolutely beastly amounts of damage. And those 2 drops are hitting at almost the exact same time. You can see all of the Zerg units being really indecisive. They're kind of running around in the middle. They don't quite know what to do.
And it does look like Torque managed to take out that base over there on the left side, and is now currently focusing the hive, actually focusing the units that are coming in here. Probably should be focusing the hive. He might have been able to get it down, but right now he's just trying to deal with these Zerglings and Infestors. And will the Infestors be enough to take out these medevac Marine Marauders?
He's already lost 2 of them, and so this is already turning into a very worthwhile drop. He's now taking out the 5th base as well, and just like that, when you look at the supply, he's taken a 25 supply advantage. And we're seeing an almost Brood War style comeback. It's one of the big critiques of StarCraft 2 is that like big comebacks are really not that common. Your opponent can get a big enough macro advantage that it's just not really feasible to continue healing yourself up. It looks like there was a big counterattack that I managed to totally miss. Sorry everybody who's watching. But it was totally cleaned up. All those SCVs are going back to work, and the bio units were able to easily repel the Ultralisks and probably a couple of Zerglings that were running into the base.
It really was just like 3 Ultralisks. I don't even know if there were any Zerglings in there. Then they just did not do any damage at all. Now it does look like Torque is doing some more dropping with his awesome 2 medevacs worth of Marines and Marauders, and going to be forced to retreat for now. Infestors might catch those medevacs. Oh, 1 fungal growth going off on that medevac. Will he manage to take it off? Another fungal growth, and will he drop some infested Terrans? He does do that, but oh, another fungal growth. There we go, losing that medevac.
Yeah, that was definitely a nice pickup for the Zerg player, but it did cost him a lot of energy. There's now 5 Infestors at least on the field. Yeah, there's the 5 on the right, but 5 of those Infestors have absolutely no energy, so if there's any kind of timing with, you know, that enormous Bioforce that's hanging around and now loading up in the right-hand side, there's not going to be that many Infestors to try to deal with them.
Yeah, there's just not going to be enough at all, and I'm actually surprised that he hasn't gone for Mutalisk. I feel like that would have been the better choice. He does have a greater Spire, so he's getting Corruptors right now and going to be going for Broodlords. But honestly, it's going to be pretty easy for Torque to respond with Vikings.
There is a Zergling counterattack moving in as the drop is going off in the main. Just action happening all over the map. The number of bases that the players are forced to take really making them spread out.
Yeah, it does look like Terran is going to manage to possibly take out this hive. Will he do it? He does take out the hive. The counterattack by Zerglings doing little damage. Nothing at all, really.
Yeah, the supplies are staying pretty even for the players, but the Terran has gotten that lead, and he is not giving it up easily. That attack was cleaned up, but now we're actually going to have to worry about buildings starting to bleed out, because unless he can get some of these Overlords starting to generate creep, that Infestation Pit in particular is very vulnerable. It is not being fed by creep anymore, or I don't think it's quite yet, but in just a couple seconds it will not be being fed, and it already took a lot of damage.
Yeah, I really do not see Zerg managing to get another base in there. I don't think Terran's really going to let him right now. And looks like we do have 3 Broodlords, which are just incredibly immobile and not going to be good defensive units at all.
Yeah, I do think that the Broodlords are very vulnerable because there's, you know, a Viking
yeah,
with 0 Corruptors and nothing but infested Terrans for anti-air. It's not going well for him. We do now have a 2-pronged attack going on, pushing through the center and moving into that 3rd base, removing all of the static defenses of that base, and definitely going to get that Hatchery if he manages or decides to target it down. but the center is also getting cleaned up. There's only one Broodlord left. However, all of these Marauders are not able to do anything to that air unit. They get totally surrounded by infested Terrans and will all be taken out. However, that one Viking is going to get 2 Broodlord kills, a pretty good day's work, and even at the 4th base, the Terran is moving in to take that out too.
Wow, so Terran doing a really good job. Of course, Zerg's doing an excellent job as well. If he can hold, he definitely has a tech advantage. But in all honesty, he's revealed what he's going for to the Terran, and it'll be pretty easy for Terran to respond with reacted starports and Vikings, as you can see now.
Yeah, unfortunately, all of these infestors have spent all of their energy, so the supply that you see is really misleading.
It's basically nothing, yeah.
Yeah, until they have enough energy, like, to, you know, actually do stuff, they're just gigantic paper tigers, not going to be helping at all.
Yeah, they're very, very ineffective right now.
Do you see the infestation too? Just like I had predicted, bled out, and right now the spawning pool is starting to go as well.
Yeah, poor Zerg losing all of his buildings.
It's too bad. If he just selected, like, just boxed all those overlords and hit G, I think that the creep would cover it, but he's just so distracted by the action that's going around everywhere, all of his bases being picked off. He's now down to just 2 bases, one of those barely mining. There's like 13 drones working a single mineral patch.
Yeah, we can look at the harvesters right now. It's 32 drones versus 28 SCVs. Terran definitely in the better position.
Yeah, if only he had something to deal with these Vikings, he would actually be in a really good position, because there are no Marines on the ground, and those 2 Broodlords are able to keep on picking away at these very expensive 125 Marauders, and the tank, which obviously costs a very large amount itself.
It does look like Torque is going to manage to take out all of the Broodlords that are on the map right now. And Frag Symptom just being forced to rely back on Zerglings once again.
Though look at the main base. There's something really cute going on here, dropping a ton of infested Terrans. Though when the Terran moves that army back and he starts scanning around, he's going to have the time of his life going shark hunting.
Yeah, so many infested Terrans being dropped right now, but are going to be able to get cleaned up by Terran with his Marine Marauders and Medivacs.
Yeah, they just did not do that much damage either. I think they killed like an add-on and maybe 5 Marines total. And so once that scan goes off, oh, this is just so much gas. And I'm like judging this based off of what an ordinary game of StarCraft 2 would be. Losing 10 infestors to a couple of scans would be huge. And when you only have a couple of high-yield gases, it's even worse.
So really interesting game so far. I'm actually interested to see. I mean, Zerg sadly only has 2 bases, right? Or he's almost got 1 hatchery almost completely finished, but it's just so easy for Terran to get in there and just do a drop, take out a hatchery, and run away.
Yeah, I think that this very small attack force is going to move in, get a couple more drone kills, and honestly, if they just stemmed, targeted that, if he does, the Zerg player does not immediately pull back all of his Zerglings, it would be very easy to target that down. Very nice transfuse. All the Zerglings were able to move in and take that out.
Yeah, so Zerg's definitely holding on to his life with all that he has and trying to stay alive here. Ton of Zerglings are on the playing field, but nothing else in production, and I don't think it's going to be enough to deal with this bio ball with that 1 tank in there.
Yeah, when we look at the 22 and 28 for a total of 50 Marines and Marauders versus 50 Zerglings, there's absolutely no way the Zerg is going to be able to engage that army. So instead, he's very smartly going for the counterattack. If he can turn this into a base race, he'll definitely lose because the Terran will be able to lift off his buildings, but he'll at least be able to do some damage as opposed to just suicide all of his units on this basically impregnable army at this stage of the game.
Oh man, he actually passed up a huge opportunity there to take out all the workers in the Terran's 4th or 5th base. But he is instead going for that 3rd and attacking into the army of the Terran player.
I don't like those infested Terrans. If he had unburrowed all of those infestors and dropped a couple of fungals, that might have been a very different fight. But pretty much all he did was tell his opponent exactly where all of the infestors were, get them killed off, and that leads to the GG.
Wow, that was actually an awesome game.
That game...
Oh, go ahead.
That game was freaking sweet, dude. I think that's... If the Cecil versus Ruma Diaz game that I casted was the best game I've ever seen, that was definitely the 2nd best.
Yeah, that was really cool. I love the build that the Zerg player did there, with going straight for ultras off of 2 bases. Well, it was risky, but, you know, it was cool just to see.
Yeah, so anyway, thanks everybody for watching, and I'm going to do a little outro for all the people who will be watching the VOD on YouTube. However, everybody who's watching the live stream should definitely stay, watching, like I said a moment ago. So, Paul, where can people find all of the work that you have done since the StarCraft beta in casting, even?
Well, my YouTube channel is youtube.com/poolsc as well. I do have a stream, and it's twitch.tv/poolsc.
Alrighty, and I am Wise Old Senex, so www.youtube.com/wiseoldsenex on YouTube if you want to check out my stuff. So thanks everybody for watching. This is Senex and
Pool, and thanks guys.
Alright.